Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My first question is for Mr. Huffman. Mr. Huffman, do you think that greater use of carbon capture technology, creating jobs that potentially could be built on the skills that many of your workers use, like if we use carbon capture technology?
Yeah, absolutely. CO2 pipelines is a pipeline, and it's molecules. It's what we do, and and to be honest, in order for us to meet our goals, my opinion is that we're going to need to in order to get there.
Thank you, Mr. Huffman. Mr. Huffman, I have another question for you if you know the answer. Do you think there's an opportunity for hydrogen production and its potential for safety, reliability, and affordability to help us to fully optimize our existing energy infrastructure? What do you think of using hydrogen?
I absolutely believe that it's something that we need to do. We need to do it sooner than later.
Thank you. And my next question is the same question for Mrs. Silverstein. What do you think about investing or using more hydrogen technology? And my understanding is that some of the natural gas facilities could be utilized then.
I cannot give you an informed answer on that, ma'am.
Okay. And Ms. Silverstein, I have another question for you. Earlier this week in a different Energy and Commerce Committee hearing, former Energy Secretary Moniz said, if I'm not mistaken, that to install one offshore wind turbine would take 1 ton of critical minerals to make it, to produce it. And so I'm concerned on our reliance on China for processing a lot of our critical minerals, not only for production of wind turbines, but for the lithium needed in battery storage, whether that's battery storage for electricity or whether that's electric vehicle batteries. Would you support more domestic mining and processing of critical minerals here in the United States?
I have not studied that issue deeply. I cannot give you a good answer. Thank you.
Can any of the witnesses answer that for me?
Well, I'm actually a geologist by training. So, I'm sitting here in Nevada, where we actually are. There are a number of lithium mines. There is currently a lithium mine in Silver Peak, Nevada. It's a lake bed brine facility, and there are a number of investors that are looking around the state and also in California at building out lithium mines. So I think we will see an increased domestic production, not just of lithium, but some of the other critical minerals. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a provision in the Clean Future Act that requires an evaluation of critical minerals. I know the Defense Department has done that several times over the last few years because many of those critical minerals are important for defense equipment as well. So I think there is a lot of attention being paid to not only where the sources of critical minerals are, but recycling and alternatives as well.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Wayland. I appreciate that. I too, as you guys know previously, I think this is a really critical factor because what I read is that most of the processing of lithium takes place in China, where they use coal-fired plants to process the lithium. So it doesn't make sense to me if we're going to promote, and we should, to an extent, electric vehicles. We need to look down the road, like how are they going to be made? Are we going to have enough lithium? And if we have other renewables, are we going to have enough critical minerals? And so we need to be less reliant on China and possibly other foreign hostile countries. Mr. Hoffman, I have 27 seconds left. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
Just that we're going to need everything at our disposal, whether it's hydrogen, wind, lithium, ion, solar. We're going to need everything.
Thank you, sir, and I yield back, Mr. Chair.